Hi guys, good morning. This is Dan. Welcome to Engelgeist. For those of you that are new, welcome. For those of you that are returning, welcome back. For those of you that support me over on Patreon, thank you so very much for your subscriptions. This is a daily reading. It's a collective reading for all signs. It is originally created for Saturday, the 30th of July, but it's not solely set for that date. If you're seeing it on a date other than the 30th of July and it still pertains to your life or your situation that you're dealing with, please, by all means, use it. I do speak in broad terms because it is a collective reading, so you need to figure out if and where it fits in your life, if at all. If it doesn't fit, that's okay. You're not doing anything wrong. You just might be working on something different at this time. Please, for those of you that are new, check out the drop-down menu. In there is some housekeeping rules, things I want you to think about, things I want you to be aware of, how to contact me for a private reading, what decks I'm using, ways to support the channel. All of that is in there. Easy ways to support the channel. Hit that thumbs up button, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell as we put up daily content. What else? Share the video out, leave me a question or comment, and like I said, everything. Subscribe, like, all that sort of stuff. Alright, sorry, I'm just waking up. So let's get into this reading and see what card comes out today. We have that new moon in Leo, so what do we want to create, guys? Okay, our card for the day is the Four of Wands. Community, celebration, and home. The Four of Wands is that element of fire, right? That element of desire. Fours to me are about, stability. They're about building a stable foundation. The Four of Wands oftentimes can be, some people see it as like the soulmate card, right? In this situation, when I'm looking at this as a collective reading, this could be whatever we're tied to or whatever we love the most. The things that we want in our life. How do we make them happen? How do we connect to them? How do we focus on them? How do we create like that sort of grounded foundation, which would be that number 4, towards what it is that we desire, what it is that we love, what it is that exists deep within us, that is our truth, right? Our truth, and our truth based in sort of that spiritual love, right? When I look at these candles here, it makes me feel like the path is lit. It may not be sort of like the most clear path, right? Or the most easy path, or it could be a path that is still requiring like work, ideas, fruition, steps to be taken, because these candles are sort of staggered to me, right? So it feels like we might be jumping from one candle to the next, from one light to the next, trying to move ourselves along. Staying with this and staying attached to it, focused on it, to me feels important to us today, because there's an opportunity here, in my opinion, to kind of choose what we focus on, right? Underneath this, in the Sunday reading, which you can check out in the lower left-hand corner at the end of this reading, was the Eight of Cups. Eight of Cups is about sort of walking away from a situation that emotionally doesn't serve us. This could be, in my opinion, like shifting how we feel about something, or how we connect to a situation, and almost making it more real or palpable for ourselves through focusing on not necessarily what's maybe logical, but what sort of speaks to us deep within our spirit, right? Now, I'm not saying to do anything crazy or to go after things that aren't probable or possible or suitable, right? Because the Eight of Cups is underneath this. So there is this idea, or this, because it's cups, it's probably like a feeling or emotion where something may not necessarily be working out or right for us. But that doesn't mean that things are over or done. It might mean that there's a new way to focus, there's a new way to connect. That connection through this Four of Wands would be based in like this idea, the card said celebration and community and that sort of thing, in reconnecting to it from a place of love, desire, action, but from a deeper spiritual perspective, looking at things from maybe a higher perspective, a more open, less like sort of, I don't know if ego driven is the right idea, but it could be less ego driven, it could be less fear driven, it could be less, seeing sort of, to me this is about more seeing the optimistic rather than the pessimistic, seeing the possibility rather than the the negativity, right? Let's say that. We may have to look at a situation or connect to a situation in a different way. We may even have to back off or separate from a situation. That would be the Eight of Cups influence, so that we can find our bearings or a new way, a new path to open up to us, to get us where we want to be, right? The Four of Wands is ultimately, to me, like a higher calling card, right? In the sense that when people associate this card with sort of soulmate connections and stuff like that, when I say soulmate connections in this reading, in a more broader perspective, I think about how we're drawn towards that with which we love, right? How do we set a solid foundation and a solid plan into effect that allows us to go after sort of what we love or what we care about deeply in a way that's healthy, in a way that's grounded, in a way that's suitable to us, right? Now, because that would be some of the Eight of Cups influence under this, we may have been going at a situation, a person, or an experience in a way that has been, what's the word I'm looking for, like unfulfilling, let's say. That would be the Eight of Cups. And we've maybe had to go back to the drawing board recently to make decisions or reconfigure what we're doing or how we're going about doing it, how we're doing it. But with the Four of Wands here, I feel like we haven't given up. We haven't stopped desiring. We're finding, in my opinion, a new way or a new path towards that desired outcome, right? And that path might be illuminating to us or showing itself to us in a step-by-step moment. And we're maybe having to rely a little bit more on our intuition, our knowing, our higher chakras like 6th and 7th chakra energy to guide us through this process as we move towards it, right? Grounding in this or setting this up from a space that is foundationally stable is going to be key. Looking at things or maybe even removing our emotions from a situation might be also the key for some of us today. Looking at things through, like I said earlier, a higher perspective or a like almost a more clearer vision where it's not necessarily confused or muddled by the emotions that we feel around maybe the past or how they treated us or what was said to us or those sort of things could be what's on on board for today, right? Finding a new way to realign with that that desire or that connection, that love is going to be key today, is my feeling. So let's go to the White Light Oracle and see what that has to say. Okay, so this is a new card. Shaktipat of Seahorse, card number 31, which is also a 4. Seahorse is interesting to me because horses oftentimes represent power, right, as an animal totem. A seahorse to me would also be, seahorse being an animal of the ocean or the water would be about emotions. We have that Eight of Cups underneath this, which is also cups, which is emotions. The seahorse could potentially be about emotional power or emotional strength, emotional grounding, right? Because this card is 31, which is also a 4. So we have a 4 and a 4 here. It could be about reestablishing or kind of grounding and finding our power within our own emotional truth. And that could be opening us up to not only stepping away from something in a certain way or a certain behavior that's not working for us, and finding something that does empower us, that does bring us more balance, but doesn't necessarily have us let go of, say, the connection, right? That would be the Four of Wands. I'm not sure the story of Shaktipat of Seahorse, but it's interesting to me that the Seahorse is sort of working its way towards the Four of Wands also. Like, he almost looks like his hooves there are kind of trying to step on those candles, and I don't mean that in a bad way, but use them as like stepping stones to get to where he needs to be. Now, him being a seahorse, and this is just me kind of interpreting the card, him being a seahorse, there's a fluidity to the sea aspect of the seahorse. There's also a strength and a power, a groundedness to the horse aspect. So there is a flexibility here, even though there's also a strength in the midst of all of this. But grounding in that strength and balancing in that strength, or bringing, that strength into the foundation of what we do, how we pursue our desire, how we connect and find love for a situation, will be key today. So let me get my glasses and I will read to you Shaktipat of Seahorse. It's cool that we're seeing him before. This will be our second to last reading, so we're still seeing new cards in this deck. This deck, I have to be honest, has been a bit of a trip for me. It's kind of taken me on a bit of a run this month. Like, I'm a little like, sometimes I'm sad to see decks go. I'm kind of okay with this deck taking a break from it. All right, Shaktipat of Seahorse. As you embrace your inner essence, you will likely be with who you are, including your vulnerability, and no longer see the need to conform to social ideals which have no true resonance for your heart. You are encouraged to trust your intuitive recognition of which environments and relationships harmonize well with you, supporting your spiritual growth and well-being on all levels. You have the innate capacity to manifest. Relax and you shall attract all you need. Volatile or overly restless seas compromise the well-being of the seahorse. Such intensity drains their energy, forcing them to go against their naturally gentle way of being. They thrive in environments that are calm and accommodate their slow, graceful movements. Rather than aggressively hunting, seahorses patiently wait until what they need comes their way, and then actively receive it. Seahorse has a relationship of commensalism with seagrass and coral. Commensalism is the medicine of connection, protection, and stabilization. Interesting that we see these fours. In such a relationship, we receive what we need without being parasitic. We intelligently seek out sources that naturally support us rather than attempting to manipulate someone or something to be other than what it is. In the case of the seahorse, as it hides from predators in the seagrass and steadies itself on coral, neither seagrass nor coral are harmed. The symbiotic relationship of seahorse and its helpful friends reflect the supportive nature of the relationship between soul and spirit. Spirit will provide whatever support the soul requires to thrive. In Greek myth, the seahorse, hippocampos, which translates to horse of the sea, known both as steeds of the gods and as benevolent creatures who prevented sailors from drowning or becoming lost at sea, seahorses are a symbol of protection. They are about outmaneuvering negative forces and bringing grace and peace. Seahorse is our guardian when we are going through challenging times, especially on an emotional level. That's interesting because we have the Eight of Cups underneath this, guys. Shaktipat is a transmission of grace. It is an enlightening gift of energy that enables mastery. Shaktipat of Seahorse empowers us to instinctively seek environments that are conducive to our well-being. Now that could be stepping away too with that Eight of Cups. Rather than damaging ourselves by trying to adapt to external situations or societal values. It teaches that we are enough, and we have the innate spiritual magnetism to attract what we need in our lives. We gravitate away from falsehood and towards authentic being. Named for its seahorse-like shape, the hippocampus is the neutral center in the human brain. It helps us navigate our way in the world and find where we can thrive and best avoid negative influences. Each seahorse has a unique coronet or crown at the top of its head. It is said, like human fingerprints, no two are completely alike. This oracle assures you that your path and what supports you will be unique. If you attempt to fit into social constructs or cliques that don't reflect your essence, You will weaken yourself and become more susceptible to negativity. You are encouraged to consider what is natural and best for you, to be honest and authentic, even in your vulnerability. It is only from that place that you can respond appropriately. When you are in your authenticity, much power and grace shall rally to support you. The world can seem unfriendly or unsupportive at times, but this oracle reassures you that as you honor who you are, you will naturally find friends and attract supportive assistance to obtain all your need to thrive. The healing process. Take a moment to place your hand on your heart and imagine, feel, intend, and desire to really connect to your true inner self. You can imagine going beneath the layers of your appearance and outer self into the inner realm of your soul. That would be the Four of Wands, guys. Say aloud, I trust in the uniqueness, sacred beauty, higher purpose, and perfect inner potential that I am. I surrender into the unconditionally loving acceptance that Spirit has for me and heed the encouragement to be my true self. I do not need to adapt, compromise, or alter myself to be like anyone else. My true nature is divinely designed, and I seek to cast off ego concepts like tattered old clothes, standing peaceful, luminous, and unshackled in my own true nature. It's interesting they use the word luminous, and we have these candles in the Four of Wands. And the shackling off and moving away from what isn't true to us is also the Eight of Cups. From that place of truth, I feel connected to my heart. I can easily attract all I desire from this place of authenticity and integrity. May all beings know such peace, comfort, and love. You can rest in this connection with yourself, hand on heart if you choose, for as long as feels right for you. Then ground and hydrate. You have completed your healing process. Let's go to the hidden truth and see what that has to say. I can't do this. So when I see this, I can't do this, yes, it's a very sort of negative statement, but I also feel like it aligns nicely with that Eight of Cups, meaning there might be a way or a different way of relating, connecting emotionally, or honoring ourselves as we move into this. The seahorse to me is about sort of not connecting or underselling, undermining ourselves by staying in a situation that maybe is no longer serving us. The Four of Wands would be about renewal or recharging, reconnecting in a way that's foundationally stable, more in alignment with our spirit, and more in this state of attraction rather than maybe fear or fighting. The I can't do this speaks to this, it supports, in my opinion, that Eight of Cups, which is taking that higher road, or taking, responsibility for ourselves, our own choices and actions, and stepping into that with maybe the belief that the Seahorse of Shakti card represents, which is this idea that you can attract to you everything that you need, and you don't need to stay involved in situations that are negative or no longer serving you. That is your forecast for the day. I hope it makes sense. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and let me know what you're thinking about these readings. I look forward to seeing you guys all tomorrow. Have a wonderful day and take care. Bye-bye.